Every once in a while, a theme park rumor comes along that feels too perfect to ignore. The timing lines up, the story has a setting, the technology exists, and the fan base, they're so loud, so passionate, and so relentless that Universal ignoring all of this excitement is not even an option. And that's why Universal's most recent move was such a head-turner. Because for the first time, it didn't feel like a coincidence. It felt intentional. It felt like a major tease. It felt like this rumor might actually be crossing over into reality. In today's video, we're diving deep into the swamp to break down a ride that could change the way we look at theme park attractions forever. This is the full report on the Creature from the Black Lagoon ride at Epic Universe. When you talk about the Universal monsters, you're talking about the roots of cinema itself. These characters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and of course, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, aren't just movie monsters. They are the original icons that carried Universal long before blockbuster franchises took over Hollywood. They are the founding fathers of horror. They're timeless, they're historic, and they remain some of the most instantly recognizable faces in pop culture today. And that legacy is exactly why Dark Universe has become one of the most talked about portals inside the brand new Epic Universe theme park. Everything we've seen from Dark Universe so far, the gothic architecture, the airy fog and atmosphere, the warped village tucked into the landscape, it all feels like Universal is leaning fully into classic monster storytelling once again. The land gives this beautiful mix of old school cinema and modern theme park technology all at once. Monsters Unchained, the land's centerpiece attraction, has become a smash hit. Fans call it the best ride at Epic Universe, and honestly, a lot of people argue it's one of the best rides in the world, period. I, for one, would be one of those people. Monsters Unchained is fucking awesome. Curse of the Werewolf hasn't reached the same level of praise, mostly because of its short runtime, but considering it was a last-minute addition, I am personally grateful it exists at all. With a couple tweaks over time, I think it's a ride that can really age well, but that's a conversation for another video. Because today, we're talking about one of the monsters who still hasn't had his moment. We're talking about Creature from the Black Lagoon. So where does Creature fit into all of this? Out of every classic monster, Creature is the one Universal has tried to resurrect for decades, but unfortunately, it's just never happened. There were only 3 films ever made, all released back in the 1950s, and yet the character refuses to fade away. The Creature, or Gillman as some people like to call him, he shows up in the 1987 film The Monster Squad as part of a group of classic monsters, and he's made some other limited appearances in film and television over the years. This is directors and producers and creative paying homage to a classic monster. A lot of it is never official Creature from the Black Lagoon lore. Over the years, Universal has entertained countless pitches, drafts, and reboot ideas, but none of them ever made it across the finish line. Still, the passion for this monster has never died. The fan base never let go, never forgot, and never stopped hoping for a true revival. The Creature has this cult status that just won't go away. He's the most mysterious monster of the group, the most visually interesting, and honestly, the one that lends himself best to an actual ride. Water, dark ride scenes, jungle environments, creature attacks, the theming practically builds itself. And that's why fans are absolutely obsessed with this rumor. So what exactly is the Creature rumor and where did it start from? There isn't a clear moment where you can say, this is where the Creature ride rumor started. Instead, what you see is a slow buildup over time through fan forums, speculation threads, rumor sites, and early reporting. I'm talking super early reporting, by the way. Before Universal even had a chance to announce the portals at Epic Universe officially, the fans already knew about Dark Universe and were already conjuring up concepts and ideas for a Creature from the Black Lagoon ride. So everything we're talking about today exists because of one extremely passionate fan base. Creature fans are loud, dedicated, and they've kept this rumor alive. Now, Universal has never directly confirmed a Creature ride, but there have been some pretty interesting hints scattered throughout Epic Universe and the wider Monsters storytelling. For starters, the Creature actually does appear in Monsters Unchained. His cameo is quick, but it's an awesome jump scare moment, complete with a stunning animatronic. And that's not his only representation in the ride. In the queue, there is a found footage projection room showing short films of Victoria Frankenstein hunting down different classic monsters to imprison them in the catacombs beneath the castle. Creature is featured in one of those clips where the expedition encounters him in the water before the footage cuts out, pretty much telling you he attacked the crew, he attacked the expedition members. On top of that, Universal continues selling Creature merch in multiple shops across the resort. They clearly know this character still moves product. But if the lore connections, fan speculation, and overall hype weren't enough to get you excited about a potential ride, Universal recently did something that sent sickos like me into a frenzy. Universal loves hiding Easter eggs for future expansions and rides. For example, right now they're trolling us with 3 IP teases on the construction wall for the new Universal Studios coaster replacing Rip Ride Rocket. They know exactly what they're doing. And their latest tease dropped right when Dark Universe fans were starting to feel a little discouraged, because recent permits basically confirmed that the Wizarding World expansion is most likely Epic's first major add-on. Naturally, that made Creature fans assume, well, maybe our ride isn't happening anytime soon. But then, Universal pulled a monumental move. They took the 3 iconic monster statues from outside of the old Monsters Cafe at Universal Studios, which were spotted backstage at Epic a year ago, and placed them in a wide open field directly behind Frankenstein's castle. The exact same area fans have been speculating about a potential Creature attraction. Let me say this again in another more obvious way. Universal's creative team put an old statue of the Gill-Man in the middle of the open land just feet away from Frankenstein's castle, the exact land that will be used for Dark Universe's Phase 2 expansion. So, maybe you don't know what these statues are. What exactly are the statues? Well, there's 3 of them. One of them is Frankenstein, representing Monsters Unchained, perhaps. Then the second is the Wolfman, possibly representing Curse of the Werewolf. And then, of course, the third and final statue that has been laid behind Frankenstein's castle, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Is he there to represent a soon-to-be attraction? Possibly. Universal knows that BioReconstruct is flying overhead every week, trying to capture new images and new things to report on. They know fans track every cryptic placement and every unusual move. Holding on to those statues for over a year and then suddenly arranging them in the open lot behind Frankenstein's castle? Yeah, that wasn't random. That was calculated. It was a brilliant way to reactivate the fan base right when we all needed a sign of life. Because of this one move, I am now fully convinced that a Creature from the Black Lagoon ride is coming to Epic Universe, and I would predict that it could be arriving anytime within the next 4 to 6 years. And that brings us to the big question. If Universal actually builds this thing, what ride system would they use? Right now, the strongest candidate and the one fans won't stop talking about is Mack Rides' brand new Rocking Boat ride system. This hybrid dark ride water ride technology is one of the most innovative systems we've ever seen. And the first major installation, Mission Bermudez at Futurescope in France, proved exactly what this thing is capable of. That ride also opened, I want to say, about 6 months ago or even less than that. And it showed us a lot. As I mentioned, it showed us exactly what this thing is capable of. Because unlike traditional boat rides, this system uses a submerged drive motor connected to a hidden track. That means the boat isn't floating aimlessly, but it moves like it is. You get full control over speed, position, and even sudden stops, but without the clunky channel walls that give away the path. So riders could really feel like they're actually drifting through a living, breathing swamp. Hypothetically speaking, of course. The real magic comes from the independent movement of the upper body of the boat. It gently rocks, sways, tilts, just like a real vessel reacting to water underneath it. In a creature ride, that movement becomes storytelling. Every ripple, every bump, every sudden jolt could feel like something is lurking beneath the surface. This system also allows for tight turns, surprise near-miss moments, backwards motion, and even sudden drops. More on that in just a second. Plus, because the track is hidden when underwater, riders will never know where the boat is heading next, which fits perfectly for a horror attraction. Mission Bermudez isn't perfect, but it does a solid job showing off the tech. There's a real storyline, detailed theming, and a layout that pushes the system way beyond a traditional boat ride. They even showcase a full vertical lift tower that transitions straight into a massive plunge back into the water, giving riders this hybrid feeling of a dark ride, a log flume, and a roller coaster all mashed into one experience. And that's exactly why fans want this system at Universal so badly. When you take Mack's technology and pair it with Universal's budget, their creative team, and their obsession with immersion, they would absolutely go off with a Black Lagoon attraction. Imagine this, 75% of the ride is indoors, giving modern dark ride energy. The ride vehicle, themed to an old wooden boat, is winding through dense jungle sets, ominous caves, and foggy swamp scenes. A couple sharp turns, a few sudden drops, some massive scares, and then you reach an enclosed lift tower. Maybe you don't even realize you're rising up in this lift tower. The tension builds, the walls crack open, and then suddenly, boom, you're outside 80 feet in the air, standing down a huge hybrid flume coaster drop. Add in modern animatronics on the level of the new Monsters Unchained figures, and this thing becomes a full-blown cinematic horror adventure thrill ride. This ride system really is the perfect tool to bring the Black Lagoon to life. And it's not just theme park fans who are hyped about it. Mack's rocking boat has been turning heads ever since its reveal. It was recently confirmed that Dollywood would officially be the first U.S. park to bring the system stateside. Just a few months ago, it was confirmed that Dollywood's massive new multi-million-dollar expansion will feature Mack's rocking boat system. They recently released a trailer showing off the ride's capabilities. That ride is set to open late 2026. So that's the full report on one of the most fascinating rumors in the theme park world right now. And with that said, if you guys would like to hear the extended conversation about this creature from the Black Lagoon ride, be sure to jump on podcast platforms, whichever one you prefer, Spotify, Apple, whatever it is, we're on all of them. Look up the full episode for Creature from the Black Lagoon on a Theme Park podcast, and I'm going to break down a little bit more for you. We're going to talk about the movie that is in the works right now with one of the biggest horror directors in the world. We're going to talk about my personal experience and story with the IP. And then we're also going to talk about, in my personal opinion, how fast do I think we're going to get the construction of this ride and when can we actually see it open? I'll go into those kind of details on the full episode of the podcast. But that's it for me for today. If you did watch the episode until the end, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next major update. And until Until then, I will catch you guys next time. Take care and peace out.